I want to start this off with a comment from my last video. The Milk Bar story brought up some thoughts I've had. One small location and one brief instant in time that affected a relatively small group of people in a relatively small way in their lives. And it's strange how something so seemingly trivial, and in many cases largely forgotten, can bring back memories of the past for people in such an impactful way. But more than that, and this is my thought, this is one tiny drop of memory in a vast universe of memories in human history. Imagining how many places, people, interactions, experiences are gone, never to be uncovered again, is mind-boggling, literally in the trillions. And though most will never be remembered, these are the things that shape the world we are in now, in ways we could never even imagine. And a quote from Blade Runner, "All these moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain." I assumed the task of giving the Milk Bar a place in Pointe Claire's history. So that was the challenge. Make the Milk Bar historically relevant, not just a series of anecdotal experiences. We finally completed the documentary Saving the Pointe Claire Milk Bar on January 11th, 2022. The same day we were scheduled to showcase it in front of a live audience at Pointe Claire's Public Library. Now, I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't the most stressful time for the production of any single project in this company's history. Not so much because we were pressed for time, well, that's mostly why my co-creators were stressed, but for me it's because it felt that this was my swan song. That there wasn't gonna be anything else that could match this story. My peak moment. In the documentary, I didn't really open up about how vulnerable I was on the success of this project. If my best work doesn't take well, then how do I bounce back? What's the solution? Well, I could do what I had been doing for the past 4 years, you sit on it. And so I sat on it. But over 4 years, I kept collecting more and more information. Those tiers around the Milk Bar were getting bigger and bigger, and the roads were getting longer and longer and further away. But in November of 2022, I said, that's it. I pulled together all the information that I collected over the last 4 years and set out to create one last final workable script. We reserved the studio for brainstorming. That lasted 5 days. All we did was go through historical facts about Pointe Claire and try to match it with a soundbite from an interviewee, and then find the glue that will be the narration that'll piece everything together. We color-coded everything to make sure that there was an even balance of history, humor, and personal connection. Then right before the Christmas break, we created a very loose 25-minute cut to finalize in January of 2023, giving us about a week before the event. That first day back in the office after Christmas break will probably be a day that'll go down in this company's history as the big oh no moment. See, my team and myself sat down to re-watch that 25-minute cut, and we all agreed that it was total garbage. We wrote a history book, essentially. There was no big meaning, no purpose to telling the story. It was completely out of touch and nothing like what I wanted to have to commemorate the Milk Bar. So on January 3rd, with 8 days before the event, we decided to work from scratch. Margaret Kastner, a reference librarian at the Pointe Claire Library, had been helping me out with this project, gathering information since the very beginning, 2018. She understood the difficulty I was going through trying to find the story. And she became the one who had the idea that I should include my struggle trying to tell this story in the story. We came up with a scrapbook idea to show that I wanted to create a keepsake for this entire journey, explaining all the attempts at trying to tell this story from the past, the people that I've met, and that the Milk Bar was responsible for the creation of this entire series, the Endangered Stories series. The recording of the scrapbook took 5 hours. We had 4 camera angles going. It was a ton of footage. It was very heavy. We just wanted to make sure that we were going to capture everything we needed in one long take. And what happens when you don't have much information about something is that, did I say imagination or information? New Corp Robertson honey. You think we can finish it today? How's this going? Does this whole thing seem anticlimactic? And as a special bonus, I had the idea to commission a painting by a local artist from Pointe Claire Village. His name is Jacques Simatis. Some of you probably know him. Because I really wanted a shot of what this place looked like on a sunny day in the summer of, let's say, 1955. And now this piece is one of my prized possessions here in the studio. Thank you, Jacques. And with the last pickup shots shot on January 11th, a mere few hours before the showcase, we managed to finish it. We rendered it out in the car while driving up to the library, which is why, for those of you who were there, I was late that day, and that's because we were actually still finishing the video. I'm very happy with the work that my team and I put into making this project a reality, and completing it. Well, kinda. Because at the event on January 11th, I was approached by a woman who remembered being a child waiting in the Milk Bar's opening day lineup in 1950. Being one of the first to try their ice cream. She agreed to be interviewed. I was also approached by a gentleman who actually worked there. Someone else who worked there. Something I never thought I'd find again. And he agreed to be interviewed. And I have since been in touch with someone who used to walk over to the Milk Bar during their lunch period while at John Rennie. That was the whole mystery. And she agreed to be interviewed. And I'm on the verge, fingers crossed, to be in contact with a few people who knew Bill Legault personally, the guy who actually opened the Milk Bar. And hopefully, they'll agree to be interviewed too. This means that Saving the Milk Bar Part 2 will be in the works, hopefully, soonish. So stay tuned as I enter 2024 with many more questions about the Pointe Claire Milk Bar, Pointe Claire in general, the West Island, and its surrounding areas so that we all may become one step closer to say proudly, I am a West Islander. Have you ever said that? I haven't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you may be notified when the next endangered story is uploaded. Thanks, I'll see you in the next video.
Bye.